This is Judge Dredd.
People have forgotten. This block operates under the same rules as the rest of the city.
I am the law.
Oh, shit.
I've got an innocent. I'm taking him down.
Yeah. They got lucky.
We'll head for the med center. Calling.
Multiple armed targets obstructed line of sight. Gas grenades?
Respirators. Advise you hold your breath.
The future. The future of law enforcement? No, that's RoboCop.
If time is passing at 1% its normal speed.
Yeah,
Play
bitch.
this right.
Judge Dredd, or actually it's just Dredd, right? Not Judge Dredd, not to be confused with Sly Stallone, that wonderful tennis player. Sly Stallone. I don't know why he does tennis. He should be doing acting, but no, it's not Sly. I've only seen like maybe like a whole reel's worth, like 20 minutes of this Sly Stallone. Very glamorized. It's fun to watch, but it's not Goth-Metal lore. This one fits more with what I'm trying to do here on this channel. But honestly, I'm going to say it's not as good as Minty. It's not as good as Minty, but it's still a very good movie. It's pretty straightforward. No, I'm the law, you know. You have to surrender, you know. Like he's doing a little bit of Captain Kirk, that Sly Stallone, but Carl Urban he plays it straightforward. And what is the premise here? It's very simple. You have Judge Dredd taking out some bad guys at the beginning of the movie. A very simple hit and run, you know, lay out the judgment here in the future. Mega City 1, where you are judge, jury, and executioner. I don't know the exact laws. It's kind of like learning Quark's rules of acquisition. Like I learn as I go along here because I don't know much about Judge Dredd. I like Alan Grant and I like his work on Lobo, but I don't know much about Dredd. Try to learn. And the Minty film, fan film was great. That fan film was acres. And I feel like it's acres above this, even though that was like a 20 to 30 minute fan film, and this was about an hour and a half. So Carl Urban, who you never see outside the mask, with Sly, you have to see his helmet off. That was the same problem with Halo. Master Chief, you saw his mask off. And you had to see him with his helmet on. Like you never saw his face. Sly, you saw his face. Carl Urban keeps his mask on the entire movie. Now, I think it'd be harder these days because Carl Urban is seen everywhere now. He just appeared in Star Trek. Star Trek Into Darkness had not come out yet. This was Judge Dredd, or this is Dredd in 2D or 3D. I think Angry Joe reviewed it. I have not seen that review. I wanted to go by my own merits here. My own feelings about it. And this is an above average movie. A lot of action, a lot of gore, a lot of blood. Blood is spilled. A lot of nasty things are happening here. So Lena Headey is the villain. So you got, I can show you the roster, but you got, well, I'll show you the cast. There is Olivia Thirlby as Anderson. What a woman. There she is right there to the right of Carl Urban. Lena Headey's the villain. You got Kev, who was like the perpetrator they had to go and take throughout the whole movie. Then you got the hacker, computer tech guy to the right of him. Don Hall Gleason. I think I've seen him in other things. I don't remember. I know I've seen him in other things. Let me see what I've seen him for. Well, I know I've seen him in something. I don't remember. There's Harry Potter and stuff like that. But yeah, so Lena Headey's this. Her backstory is that she was a prostitute that rose up and stood up against her pimp and killed her pimp. Her pimp probably deserved it. And she took over the business and then decided to become a crime lord and took over this 100-story, or I guess it was 80 stories, this big tower in Mega City, this biggest tower in Mega City 1. So she's known as Mama, right? Like Ma Barker. She's Ma Barker from Mega City 1. And she has all these men doing all the work for her. There's no women on her team, just men, you know, brute force muscle guys doing her work. That sounds about right. And she protects all these people in this giant shopping mall looking It's weird because I think it's the first time I've seen a skyscraper look like a shopping mall, right? So it's very interesting. I kept thinking of the temple from The Legend of Zelda. What's that game? Tears of the Kingdom, where you go to the desert temple and you have that sort of walk around where there's a giant hole like in between the floors and stuff like that. And you just look down, you could drop down to the bottom. So Lena Headey creates this drug that slows down time to like, I don't know, 500th of a second. I don't know what it is. So when he pushes somebody over, it's in an inhaler. And so when somebody falls to their death, it's like they're falling for like 5 minutes and shit. As opposed to like, I don't know, less than a minute. So it's a drug that makes everybody slow down time. And you have Anderson's the psychic. And Dredd takes this psychic on with her as a rookie. Now, I've been watching Only Cops. That's a YouTube channel. So I wonder what they think of Dredd. But this is how they operate. You know, you take the rookie out. He lays out the rules. And he takes this cute blonde psychic with him to Mama's headquarters. He takes her to the tower, and so they both go and try to get. She randomly picks the place that's the plot of the movie, and they go there. They find dead bodies. All these dead bodies have been falling off from a high point because of this drug, and the drug makes them slow down time, so they fall. And so they got to figure out what's going on. There's an inside guy. He's not an inside guy. Basically, they capture him, and they're going to take him down to headquarters. But what happens is Mama, Lena Headey, locks down the whole building. She locks it down so that the guy will not talk. Their plan was to kill the guy so that he wouldn't tell them any information. But the psychic gets the information out of him. He messes with her by trying to undress her with his mind, thinking of perverse shit, unspeakable acts of sex or pervertedness, I don't know. And she eventually wins him over, makes him piss his pants, and tells Dredd that there's a big corporation or series of corporations that Mama is working with to get all the drugs in so that she could take over Mega City 1. She wants to be the law. She's not satisfied with killing her pimp and liberating like prostitutes and setting them free. She wants to be a crime lord. She wants to be the very thing that she was like, violated by. So she wants to be the pimp, So it's just a clash of egos. And then you had the judges who were corrupt. You had the two judges in the front of the building who I guess were not corrupt, that they were trying to do their job. And then you had the other judges come in who were bought by Mama, and they were there to take out Dredd and Anderson, the psychic. Because the psychic's kind of a good plot device to figure out what's going on with everyone, how to read everybody, so she can take out people if they're lying. There's one point where Judge Dredd should be dead, but somehow he survives with stitches, these ugly stitches in his back. And then there's a dumb plot point where they still have the suspect, right? They're taking him upstairs to go meet Mama in exchange for information, or they're trying to hold him hostage for her. And that's when these two kids who don't know shit, they look like they look like they barely got out of like junior year of high school, and they're pointing guns at Dredd and the psychic. And it's such a dumb exchange where he talks about like the safety's on, but it's really an excuse for the guy, the suspect who is in their custody, to pull out a knife or a shiv or whatever. So he pulls out his shiv, puts it to the Anderson's throat, and drags her to the elevator. But it felt like a big misstep, because while you think that the rookie can get overpowered, you think, well, wait a minute, she's a fucking psychic. She would sense, right? But I guess she's not an empath. Because with an empath, she could feel like somebody's emotions right away. Something's not right. But I don't know. I don't know what it is that I felt like Anderson could have sensed that the perpetrator was going to pull a fast one on her. And he does. And it just felt like a misfire. I think that was the one I really hated the most of this whole movie. The movie's pretty straightforward. We don't learn enough about the world of Judge Dredd. I guess the movie maker assumes that you've seen Sly Stallone's movie. You don't need to see any more about what Mega City 1's about. You just need to go into a straightforward movie. And it's a straightforward chapter. It really is. You know, it's basically Dredd versus a major criminal. That's all there is to it. It all takes place in one building, 80 stories. They got to go through these corridors and take out. It's Die Hard. It's Die Hard, but it's Dredd. Dredd hard. And yeah, at the end, I mean, you know, Anderson turns in her badge. He gets a pass, and this movie gets a pass. Heidi had her heart tied to a bomb. Any spoilers? Like somebody stole the plot for Spawn, I think. Remember that? Remember when Martin Sheen was the president, so his heart was tied to a bomb, you know. And John Leguizamo was the clown violator. And so yeah, her heart is tied to a bomb. So Dredd gives her the drug so that he can slow down her heart, so that there's plenty of time to disarm the bomb and put her on ice, I guess. Everybody else gets the sort of the cubes of punishment, whatever that is. I don't know much about this stuff, you know, the draconian stuff. Alan Grant, when he wrote Dredd, he included a lot of like draconian ideologies. And he predicted a lot. There's a great interview with Alan Grant. If you all get a chance, take a look at that interview. He's like, you know, the reporter's like, you don't really mean this stuff that you're saying, do you? And he's like, yes, I do. You know, he was like telling off the reporter. He's like, okay, then, okay. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, Alan Grant was pointing out that a lot of things got banned, you know, things that were once tolerable are not tolerable today because things have changed. And that's what Judge Dredd represented, was draconian methods by police. Police in the UK, probably. But that's kind of like judge and jury executioner. It's weird because I want to give it an A because Carl Urban's very good as Dredd. I mean, the guy is like, what? He's like almost 7 feet tall, right? He's a tall guy. I mean, they're all tall, all these actors. But in the end, I really have to be a kind of a cockhead about this. Because Minty, I cared more about Minty. Minty was an hour less, and he was trying to figure out himself. Whereas Dredd is basically the same character in and out, okay? He learns a little bit about his rookie, but he's the same character. Anderson learns a little bit about herself. She moves on with her life. But I ended up not feeling too much about these characters one way or the other. So what's my final score for this, for Dredd of 2012? I'm going to have to give that a solid B. I would say Minty is a lot better. I would say that Sly Stallone's more glamorous. It's like a Hollywood version of Dredd. So between Sly Stallone, I would say Sly Stallone's like a B- or a C+. But I would like Carl Urban's more. So Carl Urban as Dredd is better than Sly Stallone, but not as good as Minty. Watch Minty. It's free. You can watch that. Much better than the plot to Dredd. And on Tuesday, I'm going to look at a classic. We're going to look at a classic Dreamcast game. Rip it up, rip it to you.